what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Des and Legacy Firearms Training out here in the cave, ready for another gun review. And today what I want to talk about is my budget build, which is my PSA Dagger, Palmetto State Armory Dagger. Now, what the Dagger is, if you haven't heard of it, it's a Glock clone. You know, there's a bunch of different Glock clones out there. For the Gen 3 Glock 19 is what you're normally going to find. And PSA came with their own version of a Glock clone with the PSA Dagger. So this is my PSA Dagger. Firearm is clear, right? So again, Dagger is a Gen 3 Glock 19 clone. Now, when I initially purchased this firearm, when they first came out, it was pretty hard to find because they were never able to really keep them in stock. So what I did was I purchased the frame and the slide separately, and I was able to get it with no problem and then pull it together myself. Altogether, I probably have, with everything on this as it is now, maybe probably less than $500 into this gun. So that's why I call it my budget build. And I have probably over 500 rounds through this gun. So as the gun came with again, I bought the frame and the slide separately, but I did get the optics cut on the slide along with the suppressor height sights. Palmetto State, they have a lot of good deals out there. If you stay up on their website, you can find these slides and these frames separated for really good deals. Already coming with the suppressor height night sights, which is a great option, and especially if you like to co-witness your red dots, it's a really good option to have. And again, they are night sights, but well, they always have sales going on. So what I did was put together another one. So I like to use this one for training. So I bounce back and forth between this and my Glock 19. Say I'm working with somebody who has a budget. Glock might not be in their budget. The PSA Dagger may be in their budget, and again, it's a really good clone of the Glock 19 with some differences. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about the Glock 19 here, and the PSA Dagger, and see what I think about them. Give you my opinion about them, and is it a viable option if you're working within a budget? Is the PSA Dagger a reliable gun? Have I had any issues with it? Likes, dislikes, you know, all those things, and just give you a quick overview of what I think about this firearm. So we're gonna go over the top and go into a little more detail. Stand by. All right, so here we go with the PSA Dagger, Palmetto State Armory Dagger, and again, this is a Glock clone of the Glock 19 Gen 3. So some of the differences that you'll find, but one of the things that I forgot to mention at the beginning, at the top of the video, it takes Glock mags. So if you have Glock 19, 17, this will take all those magazines that you have laying around. So it will take Glock mags, which is awesome, I think. Some of the things that this gun comes with that the regular Glock does not come with, again, let's make sure that this firearm is clear also. Firearm is clear. So this one only has one finger groove. On here, your Gen 3 Glock 19s, you're going to have 3 finger grooves, but this one only has 1 finger groove. You're still able to get a really good purchase. Some people don't like the finger grooves. I don't mind them. It doesn't bother me one bit, but this does have that 1 finger groove, and you do have a deep undercut in this firearm. Your stock Glocks, when you purchase them, you're not going to have that undercut. I know with a lot of my Glocks, I go ahead and add that undercut myself. On this one, I did a double undercut, and I always add an undercut to my Glocks. But this one, there's no need to add that double undercut, that first undercut. You can add a double one if you would like, but it always has that undercut under there, so you can get a really nice high purchase on that firearm. Nice high purchase on a firearm, and you can get enough of your finger on there. You still got enough of somewhat of a flared mag well where you can set your pinky on there. This one also has that cutout. You see that big old cutout right there? This is great for stripping those mags. If you have any malfunctions, you can strip that mag. And this is the a P mag that you can use in there also. It has that big old cutout right there. So if I have any issues, I can get that magazine out of there with no problem. Some people don't like the giant cutout. Again, I don't have a problem with it. It's all about training to me. But you do have that option on your standard Glock, your stock Glock. You're not going to have that that cutout to pull that magazine out. I added a flared magwell to this model, to this particular firearm. Another something else I like to do to my stock Glocks, I like to add that flared magwell, so it makes those reloads a lot more crisp in my eyes. So there's a bunch of different models you can get with this firearm. If you purchase it separately, they have different slides out there. PSA also has a lot of great deals out there on this firearm where you can get different types of slides, different Cerakotes, different sights and stuff with different levels of sights or whatnot. This one came with the optic cut and the suppressor height sights. I really like that. So suppressor height night sights, which is a really good option to have. And I have the Sealy red dot on here. 704 Tactical, he did a review on this. I watched his review, saw a couple other reviews, did my research, and this is a really good red dot. It's the Sealy Wolf Zero, and it has that shake awake feature like your hollow suns. You also have your top loading battery compartment and everything like that. And again, I have about over 500 rounds through this firearm with no issues. I've put steel through this gun. I've put remanufactured ammunition through this gun, and I haven't had any issues. I haven't had any pins walking out. A lot of people had issues with pins walking out, but I haven't seen any of that really on this firearm. I had any issues with any pins walking out. You also have your pick rail on here, so if you want to mount your light to it, your light, laser, toaster, whatever you want to add to the front of this thing, you can add that to it. And I really like it in that you can get a really good purchase on this firearm. And you also have these little grooves right here to rest your thumb, gas pedals with little ledges, whatever you want to call them. So you can get that forward if you're one of those people who like that thumbs forward grip, which I do. You have a good place to rest that support hand thumb and make sure you get a good grip on that firearm. And then also, again, nice place to rest your trigger finger when you don't have your finger on the trigger. So you can get a really good grip on this gun. It's an accurate firearm. I haven't had any issues. I'll try to roll in some footage of me actually shooting the gun and my grouping with the firearm. I haven't taken any classes with it yet. Don't know if I will. Again, I only put about maybe 800 rounds to this gun, so I haven't added it to my rotation as of yet. Might put another, I want to probably get to about 800 rounds before I add it to my rotation or do anything like that with it. Maybe take a class with it, see how I do, see how it runs, if I have any malfunctions, really putting it through its paces or anything like that. But overall, it's a great budget-friendly firearm. Again, with everything that you see here, looking about maybe a little under $500. That's with the red dots, pressure height sights, threaded barrel, everything, the trigger, everything that you see here. You're looking about under $500, and that's really good. A lot of people got reviews out there with the PSA Dagger and haven't had any issues with it. But this is just my quick overview of the PSA Dagger. We're going to go up top. We're going to talk about holster compatibility. Even though this is a Glock clone, it's not going to fit in all your standard Glock holsters. So we're going to talk about that back up top. Stand by. All right, so here we are back up top with the PSA Dagger. So like I was saying before, holster compatibility. So even though this is a Glock clone, it's not going to fit in all your standard Glock holsters. Some of them you may have to make some adjustments to in order to get the firearm to fit. This is my Be More Tactical Glock 19 holster. This fits. This does actually lock up in there really, really good. And I am able to use this for my PSA Dagger. But I also went ahead and bought one specifically for my PSA Dagger, and a lot more companies are starting to make holsters for this particular firearm. Slim fit holsters. I use Slim Fit for all my Canic holsters. They make a dagger, a holster specifically for the Dagger. Locks up good. You can adjust the retention and everything like that. Fits the threaded barrel, fits the optic cut and everything like that. And this is a really great option, not very expensive for your PSA Dagger. So if you want to get one specifically for that. But your other Glock holsters, off-the-shelf Glock holsters, it may not fit this particular firearm. You might, because the way it's shaped The slide is shaped and the frame is shaped. It's not identical to the Glock in those measurements, so you might have a little issue finding a off-the-shelf holster for this firearm. But overall, it's a really good firearm. Really good firearm. I enjoy shooting it. I'm accurate with it. It's fun. It's fun to shoot. Again, a lot of different ammunition has gone through this firearm. Steel ammo, remanufactured ammo, factory ammo, Winchester white box, Remington, a little bit of everything has gone through this gun. And I haven't had any issues with malfunctions, failure to feed. I prefer using stock Glock mags, but I do use the PMags from time to time, and haven't had any issues with these feeding or locking back or anything like that. And like I said before, there's a lot of options you can get if you choose to build this firearm yourself, or they have deals where you can get the gun with all these options already on there, the complete gun. Or like I said, you can build your own, put your own trigger in there. I'm not a fan of the hinge trigger, so if I would have bought it all together, I definitely would change that out. It would have been the first thing I changed, and put some new sights on there. I always put some night sights on my firearm, steel, metal, iron sights, and I prefer the optics cut. And the Sealy is a great option. Again, budget option, probably under $100, maybe right at the $100 mark for this optic. And I've been running it for the time I've had this firearm. I've been running this particular optic, and it's been reliable. Haven't had any issues with as I'm shooting fast or anything like that with the dot flickering or anything like that. So it's a really good option. So check it out. Amazon Special, my favorite store. So definitely check it out if you're looking for a good quality budget build. It's going to be up to you how many rounds you want to put through the firearm before you feel comfortable that the gun's going to be reliable. Right now I have, like I said, a little over 500. I probably want to get it up to closer to 8 before I think about adding it to my rotation or using it for home defense or anything like that. So, but it's personal preference. I know some guns, if it's a Glock, I'm probably put about 100 rounds through it, some self-defense ammunition, and then add it to the rotation. Same thing with Canic. Probably new Canic, put about 100 rounds through it, self-defense ammunition, everything's good to go. I add it to the rotation. Something like this that doesn't have a proven track record as of yet, I'm gonna err on the side of caution, put it a little closer to 800 rounds through it, then some self-defense ammunition. That's one thing I haven't done yet. I haven't ran any self-defense ammunition through that, and I definitely need to do that if I'm thinking about adding this to my rotation or using it for home defense or self-defense or anything like that. But this is the PSA Dagger. They have another dagger out. That's the 5.7. I'm probably sure they're gonna make a full size, maybe a 17 size of this dagger. Good gun. It's a really good gun. But definitely check it out if you had the opportunity. You know, go to the range, try it out, see if it's for you. See if it's something that you might be interested in if a Glock isn't in your budget. But this is Desmond with Legacy Firearms Training. Make sure you check out the website, legacyfirearmstraining.com. On Instagram, Facebook, follow, like, share, subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. And as always, keep training, stay safe.